Ciao a tutti and welcome to another episode of the Italianforawhile podcast. Today we're here with Meryl Streep. No, I'm joking. Today we're here with one of our students from the US, Stephanie. Ciao, Stephanie.
Ciao, ciao tutti.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
So first of all, I wanted to ask you to briefly introduce yourself for all the people that don't know you.
Okay, well my name is Stefania and I'm from the United States, in particular San Antonio, Texas, and I'm retired, and my profession at this point in my life is an entertainer. I sing, I play violin, I perform with musical shows.
Very nice. And you just said that you're a retiree. That's exactly one of the main focus that I want to give to our conversation today.
Awesome.
Because, you know, a lot of people think that gap years are just for people that are in high school right before going to college, or just people that graduated from college right before going to work. Or now in recent years, some people just say, okay, you know, with digital nomad visas and that kind of stuff, there are people just work and then just decide to do a gap experience. But there's actually very, very few people that think that this is something that is actually a very valid alternative for people your age.
Okay.
You know? So I want to ask you, what made it click for you? What were you facing in that exact moment in life where you just decided, you know what, I want to do a gap experience abroad? Actually, a gap year, because you were supposed to be here for like a full year.
Yes. Wow, okay, well that's a very good question. I think I'm in my late 60s, and I started reevaluating, starting to think about things, and I wanted to think about, okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I'm retired. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I have choices. And I decided, I love to travel, and I decided to do a grand experience by coming to Italy. And I speak Spanish, I speak some German, obviously English, and I've always wanted to go to Italy. And I thought, why not? And so when I came across the program, I thought, well, heck, instead of doing a month or 2 months, 6 months, let's just go for broke. And I figure I have the means and I have the time. This is my moment to do it.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And of course, you're not the only student that we have of your age, and it's so refreshing for us to see that more and more people just got out of the mindset like, okay, I'm there to be a grandma, to take care of my children, to do like things for others, and you just what you said, like it's your time now.
Yeah.
So this is really beautiful, and we hope that many more people will actually consider this.
Well, there is a certain mindset when people become retired. The standard is to, well, you're retired, you know, stay home, watch the kids, be a grandparent or whatever. But that's not all there is to life. I mean, it's a big world out there. So if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend going out and especially learning a new language. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to take this program, is because learning a new language keeps you sharp mentally and also physically. You're walking around a lot. It's not like I'm driving around in a car. But it's interesting the reactions of people when I told them what I was going to do. They're like, what? They were kind of like a little bit of afraid. I'm like, no, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It's like,
that's exactly another question that I had for you. Like, what was everyone's reaction when you just told them, okay, I'm leaving for a year and going on the other side of the world, bye?
Yes, there was pretty much stunned silence for a moment. I mean, in my case, it was a little bit more extreme because I decided to be a world traveler, and I sold everything. I sold everything before I came, even my car. It was a new car too. Anyway, I sold everything, and I had friends who were just stunned. And whenever I talk to new people that I meet, they're like, what? And then that's the first reaction. And then the second reaction is when they fully process that, well, especially in my case, I'm single and no kids. They're like, oh my gosh, you're free. You're free. I'm like, yeah, I could do whatever I want. So here I am.
That's amazing. No, that's really.
Yeah, because if I don't do it now, I don't know what next year is going to be. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in my life next year, physically, whatever. I only have now. So that's another reason why I'm like, nope, I'm going to do this now. I don't want to wait. Do it now.
Of course. That's exactly why you have to do it now. Exactly. And as you mentioned, you walk a lot here. How was it for you to move around? Because we've talked about it like previously. I remember you said like some cities it's fine, others you need to consider. So what suggestions would you give? Like it's Italy, seniors friendly, let's say.
Well, I think you just have to really pay attention when you're walking. That's going to be my biggest advice. And also, you have to know ahead of time that there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stairs.
Yes.
So.
And you haven't been to Positano, Amalfi, all that part.
Oh, see, no, I've been all.
Okay.
In my time here, I've been north, south, east, and west. I've been everything from Switzerland to Calabria to Reggio Calabria, everything.
Okay, so you really know what you're talking about.
Oh yes, yes. So, but just take it easy. Don't be in a rush. Always watch where you're stepping. If you have any difficulties with stairs or whatever, because. Everything is, for the most part, uneven. The stairs, or there's holes in the road and stuff. And it's just a fact. You just got to love it because that's just part of the deal, part of the package.
Yeah, of course. And how do you think this is different from your life back home? I mean, like you said you sold your car. I think in the US you were used to drive quite a bit. So how would you like this difference?
Well, at first it was a little difficult because I really liked the idea of just picking up and going somewhere, just driving someplace. But the reality is, especially if you live in actually not even just a big town. I mean, all of Milan, at least from what I've seen, parking is at a premium, and to try to find a parking spot is a little bit challenging, and it could take you some time. And it's actually quicker if you walk and take the metro or take the bus. And so I've really grown to like that. And so my next adventure after this one, I'm not going to buy a car. I'm choosing a place where I can walk everywhere or take the bus, and it's okay.
Okay, so
it's a change of mindset.
You have decided that you like it better.
I do. It's better for your health, and it's nice because also when you're walking. For example, if I'm walking someplace and I walk by a courtyard, and I make sure whenever I go by a courtyard where there's a gate, I always make sure I look in because it's always a surprise inside as far as a beautiful garden or something like statue.
Milan, really beautiful, the courtyard.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And you'll miss it if you're driving around in a car.
I agree. And I wanted to ask you from another perspective. Always talking about like your seniority. How do you think this has helped you with the language? Because I mean, like the way you face the study of a language.
Well, I'm not a stranger to language. Languages are kind of my thing. So for me, it was a little bit easier. Plus, I also speak Spanish. So the blend from learning a new language, I enjoyed it. I mean, especially the way the school presented the material and the instructors made it very, very easy and fun to learn the language. So for me, it wasn't a problem, and I really like the way that the school provides a lot of opportunity in actually conversing it. So it's not just vocabulary and grammar and it's actually speaking it, and I think that's the hardest part for people to get over that hurdle is being able to actually speak it.
And so you think that your previous knowledge of like studying other languages during the years of like having a method to study has helped you? Yeah,
it did because it's pretty much systematic, the way you do it. So.
And what about outside school? Like, were you one of those Americans that only speak with other Americans, or did you just push yourself?
No, I ended up finding an Italian boyfriend who only speaks Italian.
Nice.
So,
because that's actually one of the problems that we have here in Italy, that some people actually don't speak English.
oh no, yeah, I've come across people like that, and I don't understand. It's like, oh my gosh, this is your opportunity. And but I've also come across people who are married to Italians who also speak English, and they won't speak Italian to them, so that's kind of hard, So, but in either case, just go out and just speak.
Okay,
Parla,
so
parla.
you're one of those that are like brave enough to go out and just try to speak.
Well, yeah, at first it was scary. I remember my first week, actually my first month, I felt like I was an idiot. I felt like I was just,
I want to know the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you here related to language.
I don't think I can say that.
Okay.
No,
the second most embarrassing thing.
No, I won't say what the word is in Italian, but I was wanting to say one. I thought I was saying one thing, and it ended up where I was actually saying something else that was more like a sexual act.
Oops. Okay, that could happen.
Yeah, and fortunately, the people I were talking with, they realized my mistake, and they were they were very gentle. It's like, no, it's really this one. It's this. It's like, oh, okay.
Oops. Now you know for the rest of your life. Yeah. So that's. I mean, everything teaches you something.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. So it's always an occasion.
Well, the main thing is to have a good sense of humor, because if you take everything very
too
personally, or if you're offended easily, then stay home. You just have to have a good sense of humor, especially when you travel.
I agree. Totally agree. I wanted to ask you the best memory that you have here so far, and the worst thing that happened to you. Like, could be a cultural shock that you really couldn't handle at the beginning, could be anything.
Wow, I've got so many memories. Well, I guess one, I have to give at least a couple of good memories. Okay.
I'm only happy to hear that.
I'm early on in my, after my arrival, I met a friend who has a glider. Remember the glider?
I remember you told me, yes.
And it was, and so I was taken on a glider, and I was invited to go on a glider flight with somebody, and we flew all over northern Italy and Switzerland, and it was just absolutely amazing to be up in the air with no motor, just gliding for hours.
Amazing.
And it was an incredible thing. I mean, I can't even think of anything that would match that.
Okay, so I'd say this is like first place.
Probably first place, and then second place would be spending a week in Calabria and visiting all the wonderful places and the beaches, and Grecia and Reggio Calabria and all the lovely little places down there. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So you really enjoyed the south of Italy?
Yeah, no, everything has been first class. So.
Okay, and then what about the bad? Is there something? If there is, because I mean,
the only bad thing is I've fallen a couple of times, and I know that's and it is what it is. I mean, as far as I hit a hole or a step was uneven, and so I mean, fortunately I didn't break anything, but I've had a few bruises and stuff. So that's the only negative thing, and that's just kind of like my issue. You need to watch your step, basically. Yeah, and it also could be too, because we talked about my vision, a little bit. So maybe I didn't see clearly enough. Yeah. So now every time I go anywhere, I'm like, okay, I'm walking everywhere very cautiously. Well, I mean, if this is the worst downside that you could think of, I'm really happy. No, that's it. No, nothing with the. Okay, no, very nice. Now I wanted to ask you another thing, because you were with us during our meetup in Florence, which is one of the meetups that we did one in Milan, and unfortunately you couldn't attend, but you were there, and that was the first big one that we did, basically, so it was very nice. And
I want to ask you, of course you weren't the only one your age, because there was also Venus, and then there were some people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, there was Alvaro, but there were also a lot of young students. And sometimes people think that like, either they would be bothered by having older people around, or the way around, you know, like that you and Venus maybe could have been bothered by having like little kids next to you. But I know that it wasn't the case, because I mean, the group was so nice, and in the end, like everyone was talking with everyone. So I saw it, but I want to ask you your perspective. Like, how was it? Like to have an exchange with different generations, you think, like you see it as a value?
Oh, absolutely.
Or maybe.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm 33 inside, mentally, so.
No, you're 25 inside.
25, baby. So, no, I enjoyed encountering, you know, talking with people from all ages and stuff. For me, it's not a problem. I prefer it. Actually, I don't. A lot of people my age are kind of fuddy-duddies, so I don't hang out with the old people. But no, it was fine. I enjoyed the group. It was very, very alive and very engaging, and it was a nice time.
Okay, no, this is very important, because then, of course, then at school they always do the best to separate people according to age and everything. But then when we do these meetups, we want to see all our students, you know. So this is something really important to us, and I think that also what you confirmed me now, it's always enriching. Like I saw Venus speaking way more with like 23 years old students than with people maybe her age. So I think it's really, really enriching.
It was good. I had a good time.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Now I have actually a little game for you. Okay? So, my question is, if you had to describe your gap experience in Italy through 3 cities, 3 foods, and 3 gestures,
great.
What would they be? You can start from anyone.
Okay, 3 foods. Gelato.
Okay, and you have to explain why, of course.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Gelato. Wait. Okay. I think I get it. Okay. A gelato is. You can't get that back. I mean, you can only get it here. I mean, as far as you could get it other places, but it's not really authentic. I mean, and so gelato for me is authentic Italy. And
we have one.
That's one. Milanese, risotto Milanese.
Risotto alla milanese.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite things. And also spaghetti carbonara.
Okay, so one from the north, one from the center.
Pasta carbonara.
Gelato, it's in Church, it's all over Italy.
So those are the 3 foods that, to me, embody Italy.
So carbs and sugar, pretty much the stereotype.
I know, right? Yeah.
But then also you said that, okay, let's demystify this thing. Did you get fatter? No, because you walk a lot. So carbs and sugar doesn't matter, because you're going to walk.
Right, you walk.
Okay.
Yeah, it balances out.
Exactly. Okay, then that's done. Then you have gestures and cities.
Cities, okay. Milano, because it's very cosmopolitan and very much alive, and it's an exciting city to be.
So you picked the right one. You're happy with your choice.
Yes, okay. Then you have, let's see the other city, Rome. Rome for the historical. For the historical perspective of Italy, and then you have Reggio Calabria, which is kind of like a totally different vibe, because you have the seas right there, and it's just kind of a vacation vibe down there.
Nice.
So those are three places that to me embody
You pick
Italy.
north, center, south. Perfect. Okay, and then we have the gestures.
No interessa. I like this one. No interessa. And then paura.
Paura.
Afraid. You know, if somebody's afraid, you say, hai paura. Are you afraid? And then, well, I'm trying to think of some nice gestures.
Only nice gestures.
I know all the bad gestures.
Then this means that you lived like a local.
Yeah, well, I also know the bad words too, but we won't go there.
No.
I guess probably, let me think of another nice gesture. Okay. Furbi, clever.
Quando sei furbo, you're clever.
Yes, clever.
You say ci hai visto lungo, like you have a long sight. I don't know what you say in English.
Clever,
Okay.
I guess clever.
Clever. It's yeah. Perfect. I think this was really, really nice, on point. Okay, so I don't know if you have anything else to add before I thank you and we close this episode. I don't know if you have like any maybe yes, this is always nice. I always ask like one suggestion that you would give to future gappers that maybe are a bit like uncertain about whether to take the leap and do this experience.
Come with an open mind. Come with an open mind and the heart of an adventurer. Because if you have an open mind and you're seeking adventure, you'll find adventure. If somebody comes and they're very closed and they don't want to go out and do anything and just like, well, I'm just going to stay in my little place, then you're going to miss out. So if you come all this way, live it to the fullest. Eat the gelato. Enjoy, all the things that Italy has to offer, because I mean you're only going to be able to get it here, and you're going to miss it if you don't do that. So pretty much enjoy everything that Italy has to offer as much as possible while you're here.
Nice, amazing. I thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And we say bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.